It is a adult content available stream minus the whole, basically anything available by terms of service for Twitch to not get me banned. So foul language and such
Okay.
is already a thing.
Just wanting to make sure.
Yeah.
Because I almost got banned my first day of streaming because my friends are
Yeah, you missed the little
they
tick
have it on.
box.
I don't know where the tick box is, so it's still not
Oh,
here.
I don't
And
remember.
they drop. I'll send you the word they dropped.
Was it a racial slur?
Yeah,
Yeah, say no more.
yeah. They dropped that about 5 times, and I yelled at them
Jesus.
because I don't know how. He was messing around because my other buddy was streaming and he had just muted his stream and they didn't know I was streaming yet. And I jumped in the Discord right as they dropped about a
Yep.
bunch of those words, and I was just like, "You jerks!"
Okay, so as we dive on in, give a quick recap for the union's sake. As of right now, what the events that has transpired in regards to Bella, Zealous, Ideal, and technically Joe, whenever we get around to that, have not actually transpired as of yet. That said, ah, did I get it? No,
Bug?
moths. I've been having a war with them for the better part of 3 months now.
I had a very unfortunate ant situation yesterday.
Ants are easy.
Oh my god.
But
For moths, you can do
cedar, but it's
no, but
getting
also it's a red red vinegar and white wine concoction that they get drawn to it and they drown in it. But anyway, sorry.
yes. Union.
I'm you.
Having arrived from Harish, taking the ferry with your compatriots, the many of you have split ways to see about handling a few personal dealings. And very quickly more or less lost track of each other outside of the three that managed to stay together. The last member of your group here, the Rebels of the Vanquished, that you had any dealings with was a very brief, curt and respectful nod between yourself and the ever glowing with energy Joe, as he said about his quest for resupply. As
He
that
is a strange one.
as
He
the,
sort of muttered to himself.
your trip took a little longer than he had prepared for with his supply. Um, that said, the first day of your return has gone with little incident as you've begun to put out a few fillers, comments, name dropping, even. Um, while also on the quest to procure a equine creature, if I recall your plans correctly.
Yes. So one of the things that Jer reminded of when we were making character is, um, I understand that we received payment for the last job in like gems. I would also like to get that converted to some cold hard cash.
Okay, well, it would be cold and hard, but probably not cash. Um, unless you're CACHE. Yeah, I guess that
Gold,
counts.
gold will do then.
Oh, you want yours in gold?
I recommend platinum.
Um. Okay, maybe platinum.
Okay. Do
Yeah,
you intend to go to the Adventure Guild's personal money exchange there within the guild hall, or do you want to try and seek out any of the money lenders, exchangers within the city itself?
What's the cut this money changer is going to take, and do I have any sort of knowledge of whether or not like it's convenient, but it's like a strip club ATM. It's going to bite you in the ass with the transaction fees. Like
Um,
if I know I'm gonna get ripped off here, I'd probably go somewhere else. But if I sort of get the sense that it's pretty comparable to other exchange rates, then I'll deal with the one in Guildhall.
so asking about adventures, most of which you find in the guild hall at the moment are of your rank. Um, so the many of them, for the record, look at you confused as they have not earned anything that would warrant needing to go to the money exchanger as of yet.
Excuse me, rich man coming through. Does anyone have a favorite money changer? Oh,
um,
you don't? I see.
you do notice that as you are less than coy about your asking, you do draw some attention from a little shadier looking folks, but they 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 clearly think twice about their decisions, their life goals, um, before it is a fairly well armored and ornamented halfling, which is absolutely just precious as she stands about just under 4 feet in full plate armor. And there, with the clasp of her half cape, you can see a golden adventuring mark for her insignia of rank. You seem to be doing well for yourself, Mister.
I am Union,
Ah,
and indeed I have need of exchanging some items I was given as payment for a job completed.
no. Hopefully, you didn't get shafted. Fairly common. Um, well, uh, Israela there will handle most exchanges for common gems. I It's been a while since I've. She kind of looks scoffing, and if she could look down her nose at you as she looks at your rank, you can tell she would be. It's been a while since I've been so uh, pedestrian, but I think it was an 8% exchange rate.
8%. Well, you
Now,
have to make a living.
yeah, most funds go to seeing those who are in dire need of training. Again, she looks you up and down. Um, are able to do so without having to bog their own finances down, as well as maintaining the facilities for those who are putting forth a good effort.
Very well. I can understand the mutual benefits of contributing to the guild hall. Very well. Uh, Union would go and attempt to see the indicated woman to get his gems exchanged.
Oh dear, another one. I swear, you just lot just popping out of the nine hells willy nilly now.
There's, Union sort of looks down and asks, "Is it because I'm a chieflet? That's very insensitive.
All in good
I was
jest.
born on this plane.
Oh, lucky you. How can I help you today?
Well, I I'm here on business actually. I
Well, I
have
hope you
come
didn't come
across.
to flirt.
You're not exactly my type, but I have been. I've been paid for a job in valuable items, and I would wish it to be exchanged for coin.
Well, let's see it then.
Very well. Union will pull out the diamond and the ruby.
The diamond and the ruby. She inspects it for a moment. Oh dear. You're in luck.
Yeah.
The diamond is real.
Are you implying that the ruby is not?
I want to say that it's a fake object, but whoever paid you, you should definitely have some words with.
Indeed. Well, that is quite upsetting, I must admit.
Now, fortunately for you, the diamond is the better pay of what you would have gotten. So I mean, there's at least there's that little ray of sunshine. At current rate, I can give you 1380 for the diamond.
1380. Well,
Also, have you inspected this? You know, she's not actually touched the ruby. She pushes it away with her pin.
inspected it. Whatever do you mean?
Um, you've got a little friend. We don't deal in those here.
Sorry, you got a little what?
Friend. And
A
we do
little friend?
we don't exchange those here.
What what are you referring to? Union will look down at
As
the
you give it a closer look, give me a perception check.
all right. Perception is a +7.
We fill out these beautiful sheets just so he can slow boat it. Okay. With the flicker of candlelight off her desk, you find yourself drawn fairly close, just about 5 inches or so, as you scrutinize the gem in question very carefully. A strange sense upon you that you find yourself also not wanting to physically handle the object, seeing her reaction. And there you can see a slow swirl just in the barest center of this object, and just slowly rotating. No form or anything of that nature.
Does it look like smoke or something like that?
That's all you can discern in the current lighting. It's hard to make out as it is sitting on the table itself, so there's no like light shining through to give it a silhouette or anything of that nature. But you definitely see there is motion.
What is it? I do not believe I'm familiar with such a thing.
Identification spells come at a fee.
What? You're going to fleece me on my death ruby or whatever it may be?
You say fleece, I say provide a service. Thank you. My arcane energies are not just for anyone.
Are we not both members of this adventuring guild?
I'm an employee.
How much for you to tell me that I've got
20
the
gold,
eye
you
of
cheapskate.
Tiamat?
20 gold.
I work hard for my gold. Very well. You can knock it off the price for the diamond.
Very well. Um, she sets her hand on either side of the ruby, and you can see what almost appears a set of magic spectacles rest on her nose for just the briefest of moments before they flicker out of vision. It would appear that you are in possession of a low-grade and infested soulstone, Mr. Union. This is a heinous item, as I'm sure someone of your pedigree should be aware. Though I am happy to say that the soul in question is, well, it's quite apt, I must say. Um, there appears to be a fairly weak demonling lurking within. What you do with
I
it is
have
entirely up to you. I recommend disposal of the object, carefully, of course.
Steeberling. That is well. That is quite. Given this, do you have any more insight about the creature that lies within?
The creature itself, I could not say. I can only tell the presence thereof. It is of a fiendish nature, clearly threatening enough that whoever possessed the ruby, the now, I'm afraid to say, worthless and corrupted gem, thought it worthwhile to entrap their soul, either for service or out of fear.
Indeed. Well,
I will also note that if you somehow decide to release the creature, do not do it within city bounds. Should go without saying, but adventurers,
I
as you hear an explosion from a table about 20 feet behind to your left, and you can see this someone in the middle of trying to construct something and has blasted in their face. Case in point.
indeed. Well, you have nothing to worry about on that account. I do not intend to release a demon in the middle of the city.
Lovely.
Is it safe to handle while I
I'm not taking the
ponder the
chances.
best course of action?
That's up for you to decide. It's I. She has not touched it at all.
Hmm.
You've handled it a few times, pulling it out of your pocket, putting it away. Um, so far, no ill effects that you're aware of. Um, and you feel like if there would be an outright ill effect other than her superstition or displeasure of the item, she would have mentioned it as you are paying for an identify spell.
Very well. I assume sort of as part of Union's like belt or whatever, like that I could sort of have a small like little pouch or bag to put it in until I can
Did you
gather up with the
did you
rest of the party.
procure a belt pouch? Look, man, that's a starting item for some people.
I've not independently bought a belt pouch.
Roll a d100. Don't roll a 1.
Please roll a one. Please roll a one. Damn it. Sorry.
You have, it's not so much a belt pouch, but you do have a small palm-sized satchel. Was typically used for like similar to a coin purse. It would do adequate while being relatively secure.
Very well. Union will like until we decide what to do with this. This shall work for now.
How would you like your
Okay.
sir?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Sorry. Of course.
How
Yes.
would you like your funds?
Um. So 1360 is what we are looking at.
Yes, sir.
Platinum are 10 or 100 gold.
10 if brain
10.
is braining right. Yes.
Ah, platinum, old and platinum, and then the last 100 in gold.
So 1260 convert it into platinum. She
Yes.
motions beside her for a moment and sets a small pile of platinum and a almost equal in size pile of gold coins.
Perfect. Thank you.
Come again.
Of course. And with Union and with his business taken care of, as well as a small little fiend in his pocket, Union would depart the guild hall.
Okay. And your destination after leaving is?
Um, cat. Um, he would then try and fulfill the promise he made to Ideal and look into purchasing a steed. Um, is there a way that like I can run in that Ideal and Unit could run in and go shopping together?
Ideal is tied up for the day.
All right, surprise horse it is.
You do stop by your living quarters as to finally actually put away some of the gear of travel that you've been lugging around with you. Um, I just was it Theodore. Theodore. Yes. Jera,
Yes,
help. Thank you.
Theodore.
Oh my God! I was like, I know this guy's name. I swear. You do have residence with the others, don't you? Or did you not? Because I know Bella did. I know
Um,
Ideal did.
no, I think Union rented a room in the same
Yeah,
sort of.
but I thought it was all three of you, which made him feel really happy. Because, three devils walk in and take up all the
No, I
rooms.
got you. He rented out an inn, like Grandma's Inn or something.
Oh, hi, Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Rented out Grandma's Inn.
There was like an old lady in charge of the inn. She baked fantastic soup and cookies.
Oh, right, yes.
Right.
You've been staying at the
Yes.
inn.
Yes.
Okay, so your room is still available. She does note that if you intend to take it up, there is a little bit of back pay from your absence, but your gear has been little you left behind. She did stow for you. And there is a beautiful display of pastries. I also can't remember her name, but I do remember. I now do remember the kindly little old lady. Because I remember it made Jera crave bear claws for like a week. Um, but these appear to be some berry cream stuffed small pastries. Which as soon as you're in, she's already shoving one your way.
Ah, well, that. Oh, you didn't have to. How much do I? This is lovely. How much, my good woman, do I owe you for the room?
Well, if you intend to include back pay, we'll say a discount as you weren't using it. Um, but I would require to know how long you intend to continue being a patron under my roof.
Um.
If you would like to
D-
set up, we could discuss a monthly blocks, a true proper renter's fee. Normally, it's handled with more of the complexes in the residential quarter, but you're a nice enough lad.
oh,
As she
I
shoves you another little
appreciate that, my
pastry.
good. Well, chomp chomp. Oh, I appreciate that. Oh, this is delicious. Is this blueberry? I love blueberry. My good woman. That if agreeable to you would be sounds lovely. I think we could. What would be sort of be the monthly arrangement going forward?
Ah. Let me double check my living wages, living costs here real quick. I can do math. Da, da, da. So this would be effectively a comfortable living situation. For 30 days, it would be 60 gold, plus your very slight back pay will settle at 65. I mean,
Very well.
all I did was maintain your small belongings here, which she has nicely, neatly wrapped up. Let me confirm that the room that you had is available, unless you would like to see one of the others.
The room that I remember having was lovely, my lady, and I would of course love to have it back.
Okay. She gives a sharp whistle that, for the sake of your ears, I will not do. Um, and one of these small children acting as runners comes up to your side, very quickly and hushed. Uh, Seems to relay some information to him, and he goes scampering down the halls. Aye, it's open! And you can see that there's like, she's all jovial and cheerful, and she just like immediately just sags as he just bellows down the hallway. Jonathan, he comes back all proud of himself. Jonathan, what did I say about yelling? People are trying to sleep.
Oh, he's just a spirited lad.
Yeah, very. Take him. He's all yours.
Well, as a ward, boy, you there, boy.
He is
Ever
like,
held a
what?
sword?
What? And then his sword is like, no. Sorry, the sharp and pointies aren't for everyone. Thank you,
Of course.
but your accommodations are available. If you would give me about 30 minutes to refresh the linens.
Of course. Now, you, boy, come here, come here.
He's standing right next to you.
Ian just like turns and bellows, boy! He's like cringing, what? I'm right here.
Yes.
Listen to your grandmother. Listen to your grandmother. It's just grandmother, right?
My grandmother's dead.
Uh,
He slowly reaches up and starts to try and grab a patron. There's a loud grandma thwack. You ruined your dinner.
Now, you listen to your grandmother. Now, here, for your service, but remember, you've got a good life, and don't do anything to ruin it. And Union will flick him a silver.
I've never had money of my own before. And he scampers off. Oh Lord, what have you done?
Don't get into trouble with that. It'll be fine.
Oh, I'm sure. His grandmother was a dear. Not a. And then she looks at your horns and goes, "Not a deer."
I get it all the time.
Just slides you another pastry.
Thank you.
This one she informs you is briarberry. It's a little on the bitter end, but it's still delicious.
Mm.
But so yes, she proceeds to step away, and you see she goes to the room that you are aware of as being yours, to air it out and change out the linen. Um, the common room of the inn at the moment is fairly sparse. Um, there does seem to be the sound of some carousing. Um, in the far back corner, just on the edge of the smoldering earth fire, that is really just there to save the trouble of rekindling an entire flame later in the day. It's definitely not providing any heat, nor is there a need for it, as the room is quite warm as it stands. But at a glance, you can see a table of about 6 people. While they're not being very boisterous, there is just a definite energy around the table. Um, there is tattered but familiar um, an older man, salt and peppered beard, very heavy on the salt, several scars across his face,
Hey,
and
are we starting with that on us?
okay, please don't come in and interrupt. Thank you. Um, several scars across his face, but it is not these relatively day to day features that any bar patron that you've come across in your recent years has almost bound to have at least some mishmash of that catches your attention. But a a brooch where a cloak should be held, painfully familiar.
Hmm. Okay. Me. Let me quickly bring up Yuan's bio.
Can I ask what's going on now?
Yeah, we are. Go ahead, Jer.
We're doing some downtime stuff for Monday.
Yeah, because
Oh, okay. I thought we were. I was
No.
like, you started Sunday game without us. It's not even 10:30 yet. It's 10:29. All right.
No, Leah had to take a rest. And
Okay.
why would
No,
I be hosting her game?
I didn't know you were hosting. I thought you were describing a character or something.
Well, I'm doing both.
Well, I meant describing like a player character.
Maybe I'm doing both.
Your player character.
I adore you guys. I adore you. I do.
Okay. So what does, upon sort of seeing the brooch, what does it look like?
There, um, as best as it can be managed, and definitely faded with time, is clearly something that has been painted over and over, um, and fairly trite, one might say, but a simple skull-shaped brooch that makes a point to stand on its own as not a religious iconography for various reasons, as skulls and religion tend to be very bad. Um, but it is held by a pin that appears to be a sword that runs through almost the temple to hold it on this tattered and worn uniform of the man.
Okay. So Union would almost sort of instinctively a shudder would go through Union as he sees that that symbol for the first time in quite some time, um, and almost instinctively his hand is going to reach up toward his shoulder where the hilt of his great sword is uh, extending before sort of halfway, like it, hand over his shoulder between his head and the hilt. He'd stop and sort of lower his arm and then approach where the man is sitting at the table.
Okay. As you gather yourself, your focus zeroing in, you take that first step and realize that in your motion, you drop the half-eaten pastry.
Oh no.
But one of the runners sees it and looks at you like, "Excuse me, sir. You look like you've seen a ghost. Are you okay?"
I I very well might have, lad. No.
I'll clean that up, sir. It's fine.
Thank you. I do apologize.
And he grabs a towel and wipes it. He's not so eager for a tip that he tries to wipe it from under your boot, but he does his best to clean up the scattering of cream fillings that has flopped across the floorboards. He seems a little sad as it's definitely been longer than 5 seconds.
Fair.
But you approach the table in the corner there, and the energy only seems to build up. Whatever game they appear to be playing is reaching some form of climax. The man who has drawn your focus, this scarred, withered veteran, pulls his hand up, and you can see he flashes a half-toothed smile. And you can see it's not so much that the teeth have rotted out, but probably a battle blow. Now that you get a good look, the right hand just under the eye has definitely been caved in at least once. Probably took some teeth with it, and him specifically, you're not recognizing as your eyes are on the class on that he's very clearly wearing proudly. Um, Mid smile, looks over the shoulder of this dwarf who is like, "Ah, yes, I've got you. You can wipe that smile from your face." And as soon as he says that, the man looks up, sees first your silhouette, and you see the eyes as the head tilts. They start to kind of narrow, and the dwarf is, "Aha! See, I knew it." As the smile does indeed slowly fade from the man's face. "Oh no, no, you're supposed to be dead." And he dives, clearly reaching for a axe on the table, but actually ends up falling off in his panic and stumbles into a roll against the wall, trying to reach for his weapon. What do you do?
Okay. Union would just keep walking forward, now reaching up and drawing the sword. I am very much alive, and level the sword, his great sword, at the man's on the ground, like point pressing up against his like tunic or shirt.
You shouldn't be. He's like just a half inch from reaching the haft of his axe. You see the other of the table, like, "Oi!"
This does not concern you.
"Yeah, but what was his hand?"
Union's like gonna glance over. Another question, and I will give you his hands.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the man, anyways. The dwarf, like, completely not put off by a fiendish being with a greatsword pointed at what was a jovial friend of his just moments ago, leans over the table and just flips the cards over. And out of your periphery, you see the man has pulled the dead man's hand. The table grows quiet. Gamblers, a suspicious bunch, and superstitious the lot. "Yep, right, boys. I think we take the pot and, you have a good one." Scoops the money off the table and begins backing away, leaving you two alone. And the whole time he's just, you can see that the temptation is there. It's like, I can reach it. I can do it. Come on, you old bones. But you can tell at the same time as the thought, he is old. He is not moving.
Don't try it. Union is just gonna growl at this man.
What do you want?
You have a lot of nerve wearing that filthy fucking sign around your neck.
This old thing. I've earned it, I'd like to say. I took my scraps.
Earned it?
I took my scraps!
How many people did you kill to earn that? How much blood has been splattered from men, women, and children you cut down with this fucking axe of yours?
His eyes flick over again, and there's a significant number of notches. And excuse me. You hear the old lady behind you, having stepped out from the hallway.
Madam, return to the rooms, please.
If I may, Master Union, blood is really hard to get out of these floorboards. Take it outside. You see, he kind of licks his lips, seeing if you'll listen to what he considers a reasonable request.
Union would pause for a second and can I with with my greatsword knock the axe out of his reach?
It give me a initiative check.
Okay.
As you have that moment of hesitation, redirecting your blade. You can see he may be old, but he knows a tell when he sees it. And he is a sliver shy as the axe scatters and slides under the table. And he's now actually rolled over. His back is to you. And he just freezes, staring at the floorboards where his axe was.
For the sake of this lovely woman and her adorable inn, I stay my blade. But you and I are going to talk.
I've talked to dead men before. He's putting up a brave face. He is.
Yeah.
He's not in a good way. There is a sudden slight tinge of ammonia to the air.
You get up, you animal. I'm going outside, and if you try to run, don't tempt me.
He begins to rise. Roll an intimidation check.
Alright.
You can see as he begins to rise, one hand was hovering just a little lower, and as soon as you say, "Not to tempt you," there's a hitch as his breath catches in his chest, and the hands level again, and he lets you lead him out the door. Looks at the old lady like, be back in a moment, loves. He's shaking.
As they go out the door, Union would sheath the greatsword and pull out the dagger on his belt, just closer for corners and less likely to attract guards.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand. As you do step out, guiding this man onto a fairly busy street. It's not jam-packed rush hour press of bodies in New York, but there's a lot of eyes, and you're fairly sure many have fallen on you. In fact, you see a couple of the gamblers from before. They've sat outside. As soon as they see you, they kind of lean over, start whispering to each other. They're not being sly about it. They're clearly placing wagers on what's going to happen. Um, to my lurkers, how many of you do I have?
Hi.
One, two,
Oh
I'm
my
here.
darn, that voice.
3, 4.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm new.
Hey, I knew.
Hi, I'm Angel, Foxy, Apple, whatever you want to call me. Coffee table, maybe, whatever it is.
So I've got 4. Is that what I'm hearing?
It's great.
Yeah. So yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. 4. I can do math.
Five.
The twins leave.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's one-
Yes.
Lurkers, Jera. I don't count as a
Ah.
lurker. I'm working here.
Yes, there are. Oh, right. Union. Duh.
Yeah.
You're functioning today.
Yes.
But so here's what's gonna happen. Each of you have a pool of 100 gold to represent these characters. If you would so kindly /whisper GM how much you would like to invest and which one you're putting it on. And then keep in mind, don't make the bet as you would consider knowing Union. But there's people who have been gambling with this war veteran for a while. If you want to random it, you are more than welcome to. But in whispers. Um,
Thank you. I'm just trying to figure out how to actually do the whisper thingy.
assume that E is a G. Okay. Pass. Okay. All right. Well, here you got me, laddie. Out here on the street in front of a bunch of people in broad daylight, and, knife point, and you notice he's slowly raising his voice as he's getting to that more attention is drawn.
Scum.
Okay, look, I mean, you wanted me to talk, but I can't talk and be quiet at the same time. You know, I'm kind of missing half my face here. He's,
How
you can
did
hear
that
his breathing is very, very loud.
Who got you? Some wife defending her child before you put her daughter to the axe? Get you with a lucky blow with a mace?
Oh, the fields of Oskin, you asshole. Believe it or not, some of us actually earned our badge and didn't just bleed folk like you little pissant.
The fuck are you? Come on.
If whatever fear you had on him broke. So you just, and you can tell whatever battle he's referring to, he is incredibly proud of.
Come on. We're not talking here. You can find an alley.
Huh. It's not hard to find an alley in the middle of the city. There's a small discussion amongst your little onlookers as a creature you're not very familiar with fluts after you and kind of keeps an eye. You're fairly sure that everyone saw you go into the alley, but hey, you know, no one's gonna mess with the devil yet. You haven't seen a guard walking by as of yet. But
Okay. So Union would lead this old veteran into the alley. Um, are there like boxes or anything?
there's
Anything that like he could sit on?
there's some refuse pit boxes and stuff of that nature. Um, Down this particular alley, it is fairly narrow, and as you are in in a section of the city that has tried to utilize its space as best it can, and it's just wide enough for that's one of the smallest carts to get down for the purpose of picking up refuse. Um, there was a moment where you hear the slap of wood on stone as a side door opens up, and this gruff old man just leans out, puts a bin down, looks at you two, and just shakes his head like, I don't want nothing to do with that. Slams his door.
Union would draw the dagger out to be a little bit more visible, not concealing it so much now that they're off the, relatively busy street, and just say, "Sit down."
Ticks his tongue against what few teeth he has. Reaches down for a crate, very clearly letting you see that that's what he's doing, and flips it over, spilling ad littering to his list of crimes.
That sentence is death. I cut his throat.
And drops like a rock. Very carefully turning towards you. You can see now that the tabard has moved. He's got a pair of very nasty looking daggers that you assume he was reaching for earlier. And he sits, keeps his hands, but there is now a fire behind his eyes that wasn't there even when he was ready to brawl back in the inn. Yeah, I've heard of you.
You have a lot of nerve wearing that pin in civilized lands.
I don't know what you're talking about. Murderer.
Murderer? You wear that? Where people can see and you would name me murderer?
Takes one to know one, don't it? Who's the one brandishing the knife after all?
I wear a different pin. I wear different colors now. I don't brandish and openly display the trophies of my past sins.
Sins? Boy, you don't even know what you're stirring up.
I know enough to know the sigil of the bloody skull when I walks into my damn inn.
Oh, you're in now. First a murderer, now a businessman. I like it. I am a warrior. You're the one with cowardly pointing weapons before a man could stand on his feet.
If you would wear that, you're no warrior. You are a thug. You're a murderer.
I took land. I took plunder. I earned.
Is that what you called it?
I earned every scrap for this icon that I wear proudly before you lot came and soiled it. He actively spits, and not on the ground, straight on your chest. It's pretty sticky.
Union's other fist like curls into a ball and shakes a little bit, but he doesn't. He just sort of stares and reaches up and wipes it off with his glove. What are you talking about? I know what the band was. I was there.
Oh, since you were a wee little lad, were you there? I know you. Shaitan! And it echoes. And robot. Is it better yet? Is it better yet? How about now? How about now? Is it better now? Nope.
Me.
Do 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 do. I hear someone typing.
Robots for all. Yeah.
Is this better?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like that
You both
particular
were
server just
robots
had a
like me.
whole bunch of. Yeah, the server had a whole bunch of ping. It's still getting some pretty nasty ping. I guess we are getting kind of in Discord prime time. Are we still having? Yep. Nope. It's just lots and lots of.
Robot.
Da 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 da.
Oh,
How's
are we
is this
back?
better? Better?
Better.
Yeah.
Okay. But aye. So you were there since you were nothing but a wee lad, huh? You were there to know the entirety, the glory that this banner rose. I know you. I've heard the tales. Shaitan.
Shaitan was a name I took.
He has trouble saying. He's missing half his face, man.
Yeah, well, he's not going to disrespect Union's all evil dead name. He's gonna pronounce it right.
Gets all defensive of the name you're trying to throw away.
Yeah, well, if I've earned a reputation, I want people to pronounce it correctly. That is no longer my name.
Oh yeah? Where were you when the band fought? Where were you when the band was more than thugs and murderers?
I was gone because the band attacked a town and murdered my brother.
The band did that, huh? Who struck the blow?
Shut up.
Oh yeah. I've heard of you. I've been looking for a way to get back at you. You and that half-fuck bastard. I bled for and on this fucking banner that you so now disrespect, boy! I will wear it with pride, for it fucking meant something to me! He's trying not. You can say he still have a dagger, so he's kind of lunging, but he's like, I'm also old and frail, and. And
What?
roll a history
Wait.
check for me.
Yeah.
You start processing. He is belligerent and very vulgar. I mean, it was a good many years ago, but it wasn't the biggest band. You knew most faces at least, and I mean, yeah, this one's pretty scarred and beat up, but then you start looking at the tabard up and down, and that's not what y'all wore. Well, not when you joined, at least.
You know Orson?
Know him? He's the fucking shite that did this, and he gestures to the busted face.
He struck you?
You
Tried
seem
to
surprised. A sinner shocked at a sinner's doing?
Orson was an evil piece of shit even when I knew him. But he didn't offer an attack his own. There's no better way to get a band of fucking cutthroats to turn and slit your throat in the night than start macing your own at every odd look or muttered joke.
What have you got rattling in that fucking noggin of yours, boy? We weren't always cutthroats. And you can see the fire is now turned to a memory has probably surged to the front of his mind. And he's on the verge of, like, grown man angry sobbing in front of you. Like, there is very wounded pride. You're gonna gut me to finish what that fucker started, by all means. But at least let me die on my feet like the warrior I grew to be. Not some pissant, sinning murderer like you, slaying women and children.
That is what the band was. If they were weak, if they were women, if they were children, if they were old, if the men had gone out on a raid, if there were farmers in their field, we butchered and burned and killed and raped and did all of it because we could. Are you telling me that? That band of degenerate murderers and that fucker Orson became something more? By Lathandar's holy balls, I don't believe it.
You got it a little backwards, boy.
Then tell me what you know.
He slumps on, and there's a sort of crack as the wood that he's sitting on is starting to give way. It's not a very sturdy seat. Um. Yeah. I know Orson. Bloody good fighter.
I.
Too fucking good for his own. We weren't always your happy little band of cutthroats. Some of us remember a time when we flew under proper banners. Some of us hold to those proper banners. We're getting old and frail now. We've been trying. Give me back 5 years, boy, and I tell you right now, situations would be reversed. Ooh. Your name's been passed around a lot.
I am not that man anymore.
A man doesn't change. He only sheds to a new skin.
We are not snakes. We can. Our
He
natures.
immediately, like, baffled, like, did you just take that literally?
What? People call me deer? Look, I'm having a whole animal thing going on. Our natures are not set in stone.
Joe, give
I'm
me
not
a
the man I was.
perception check for me, please, at disadvantage.
Okay.
Not that's directed at Joe.
Oh, with Joe.
What?
Give me a
What?
perception check at disadvantage. The suspense fills the air. Okay. As you're going about your particular errands, you hear shouting down an alley is of nothing of importance to you. Continue on your way. But as he does not seem entirely frightened of you, he places a hand on his knee and starts pushing himself to rise. Clearly not putting up with being in such an uncomfortable, at least sitting position. He doesn't make motion for his weapons, but that does put his hands a wee closer.
If the band was ever anything than what Orson made it, what Ball made it, I didn't know.
He spits at both names. Not at you this time, but like trying to ward a curse.
I agree. I was but a child, angry at the world. I wanted purpose. I wanted adventure. I didn't. We. It was all fun until.
To what, lad?
homes were burning and the women were screaming and the children were crying.
He sneers. Oh, that's not what I've heard. It was fun until it got personal. Oh, yeah. You're supposed to be dead.
Shaitan died that day. Died when I drove my fucking axe into my brother's fucking face.
For a holy man, you didn't cusses a lot.
Well, look, this is...
Slipping into old habits real quick.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, damn, dude. He's looking at all like your religious iconography, like, hey, easy there, boy. Easy. I'm just an asshole. What? You're a paladin. Chill.
You're right. I
Okay.
enjoyed it, but
You want Orson then?
is he still alive? I
Oh.
assumed he met his fate, skewered by a dozen spears or an arrow through the eye.
Oh, he got one of those.
Didn't slow the fucker down though.
You know what they say about us old wounded animals? I need another initiative check. As whipped quick, he has a dagger on you.
This fucker.
He's you can tell he's been slowly steeling himself over the course of the conversation, muscles tensing, his hands now able to rest near his weapons, and he has actually managed to step into your guard.
Okay.
And there's not a piercing feeling. Just look down and it's blunt and wooden.
What are you?
You want to say you're redeemed? I wear mine with pride, as I try to redeem the shitstorm you lot made my home. And you can hear the loud retching back, and just there's your first step of redemption, boy. We'll be in touch.
Where is Orson?
Doesn't answer and starts to walk away.
As he walks away, Yoon would just sort of look at the dagger in his hand, look down, sort of wipe the spit, and just call out, I am sorry.
Stops at the end of the alleyway, and it's kind of muffled, and you see again that odd silhouette of someone on looking. Turns. Sorry don't bring back the dead, boy. But if you have any sense, you'll make sure to be back here tomorrow. Walks in and is lost in the crowd.
Union would sort of stand still for a time before sheathing his dagger and reaching out, sort of reaching into his belt and pulling out the jagged, broken sort of hilt and first couple inches of a sword, and looking down at it and says, "I'm sorry," and then just sort of reach up and, as he ritually does, sort of make a small gash in the palm of his left hand, and squeezing his fist, letting the blood run over his fingers and down, letting it fall to the ground.
As your ritual closes, you catch eyes again with this unfamiliar being, as they flit back to their little group of friends. Um, Now, if you'd be so kind to describe your character for us.
Oh God, it's putting me on the spot. Shit. Just what she looks like.
Just what she. That's all they would get, other than, um, or excuse me, that was all they would get out of, because he's just seeing you at the end of the alley, and not even seeing you all that well.
Alrighty. Nami has quite vibrant teal hair, more of a pale skin. Certainly has her fair share of scales. She is a Triton, and it is quite obvious when you see her that she is a Triton. Um,
How tall is she?
I'm really bad at this. Oh, she is rather short. She is 4 foot 6 inches, below average height, and is of a rather slender build, more towards the lean and not so much of a thin or malnourished.
She's zealous.
She's very, very tiny. She wears rather darker clothing, nothing bright and vibrant. It does make her hair stick out a little bit, but not too much. And I'm assuming he sees the back of her, right? So you won't see her eye color or anything like that. No facial features.
What the moment he had to see the front of you was in silhouette, so yeah. Before
So,
she too is
teal
lost
brown short.
in the crowd. Anything else you want to describe?
No, if it's a fleeting glance, no.
Okay. Yun, where do you plan to go? The stables are still open.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head back to what was his name? Rodney? I think that's where Bella got her horse.
Union would.
Don't worry, guys. Your GM takes great notes and then loses them all the time.
Yeah, Union would sort of look down at the cut in his hand and then use some land hands pull to actually heal up the cut, and then yeah, head toward the stables in a more sort of melancholy but heart still racing than he anticipated.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Joe.
Hey.
As previously mentioned, you and your party have returned, taking the ferry from Harish to Innsland. Here you've already taken the better part of the day for most general, affordable errands. Uh, you also got a gym, right? Yeah, because everyone was given a gem of similar value.
Yep.
Um,
I got a gym.
yes, for your payment for the quest to hire him.
We got 2 gems. Okay. I don't think I got that gem. No, it was given to you.
The only one who did not get the gem by default was Zealous, because he had refused his payment for reasons.
Okay.
But as soon as he got to Innsland and realized, I'm kind of broke, probably took his gem.
Okay.
So as noted, there are money exchangers and lenders, etc., through the city itself. No one else has gone and visited them yet, but you are aware that there is one within the guild hall. If you would like to utilize one of the services provided as a standing member thereof.
Yeah, I'll get it appraised.
Um, the diamond that you're given is told to you to be valued at a total payment of 1380 gold pieces. The ruby that you were given is appraised at only 230. She points out some flaws. Like it's a nice gem, and with a master's touch, it could something good can come of it. But as a commodity, it's not very impressive.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a demon living inside it, so.
Hey, the
What
right.
did you say the value of the ruby?
I honestly blanked. Anyone?
230.
I was like, I know it's two something. Like the numbers, brain, do math.
I was still typing and choking. Okay.
Which you are offered your payment in platinum if you would like. She notes that due to several recent withdrawals from this particular funding, some of it's going to have to be gold.
I wouldn't know who had done this.
Yeah, it's like everyone on the day one came and exchanged a fairly large sum of gold from the coffers.
Well, I only want to liquidate the ruby for right now.
Very well.
So
She
it's
pushes
probably
it
not
back
gonna
to you.
be- Yeah. I'll hold on to the diamond.
Anything else I can be of service, sir, for you this wonderful day? And you look, it's closing on lunchtime, and she keeps doing the like, come on, you're the last guy in line. Let's go.
I slowly
Oh, you're that guy.
to make sure that I didn't get shorted.
She every time you put a gem down or a coin down, she just nods. Do you take your payment in platinum or do you want it in gold? Weight is to be considered.
Yeah, 20 platinum and the rest in gold.
Okay.
I think that's what, 20 and 30?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's like just tapping, like, come on. And every time you put a coin down, just nodding, like, yes.
Could be worse. I could have taken it in copper and been sitting here counting it.
Oh, yeah, by all means. But,
how many copper coins is that?
No.
23,000.
23. Oh, I could have my own hoard in my room.
You
Go in
don't
there,
have
hoard
a room.
copper and just waller. I can afford it.
Oh,
How
God.
much does it take for an hour so I can pour out my copper on the floor and just roll around in it?
Just no. Go to a house of favor and that's what you request? Just, excuse me?
I don't need the woman, I just need the room.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a red flag.
He's carrying like 3 big sacks of jingling coins.
Sir, I'm going to go ahead and say no, you are not carrying that. A certain disc might be, but you are definitely not carrying those sacks.
I'm pretty sure 23,000 is not going to fit in 3 sacks anyway.
But yes, you are by no means shorted.
Okay.
Like, they're a guild in good standing and don't want to chip you.
Yeah. Okay.
So, other than that, Is there anything you wish to do?
I really haven't thought of anything yet.
Okay. As previously noted, there are jobs presented on the board.
Side jobs, that's right.
One of which is quite simply a lab helper, a lab assistant request by a individual up for one of their college tests, their wizarding tests.
College lab assistant?
Uh huh. Hey man, he's got to move the ranks just like everyone else. But transmutation student. uh, you can tell looking at the write up that there was some hesitation of having to write the word student.
Oh, I thought it was transmutation that he had problems with.
No, transmutation student Ilhern Karadri seeks assistance with final test of passage. Can be found at the. Sorry, a moth just decided to state his terms of combat and just hovered right in my face. Okay. Don't think I've ever failed an intimidation check to a moth before, but okay.
Bravo.
Yeah. Um. At the Thaumaturgus Hollow. It's not one you're familiar with, having not really taken the time to carouse and run about the city. Um, but that is about the only active solo job at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good, because, obviously, I'm a natural at magic, so.
Yeah, that's gonna go over well. No, you just do it like this. That's not how that formula is supposed to work. What?
Formula?
Exactly. What?
Stares at the wrecking Hulk we left in Heim. Formula.
Asking around is not all that hard. I just need a investigation charisma from you.
Charisma investigation, so that would be. This plus 3.
Okay, so a 10. It it's enough asking around. It doesn't take more than about 10 minutes of poking and prodding. A few seem to try and dissuade you from wanting to go, but they don't do a very good job of it. Um, it is in the far northern district of Innsland, just about before you hit the wall. It's not a great building, but it is in a nicer section of town. But their clientele tends to, well, they had to rebuild a few times, fireballs and whatnot. It is sort of a college dormitory style living conditions for those who come in to study in the capital without having on premise place to study in at the various towers.
Right.
As previously mentioned, as you were on your way to this particular place of residence, you hear a scuffle in one of the alleys. Nothing to take mind of. About 40 minutes later, you've made it into the main district, and it is Yeah, it's a really nice district. There you see three large towers taking up the center um prominent location. Like if this had been the city itself, would be the focal point, and potentially was when the city first started. As these are very old buildings, just at a glance. Um, ivy and moss working its way up the stonework. Um, they're not impressively scraping the skies or anything of that nature, but a good um, 5 stories on one plus the cone, the capping. Um, the other, the grandest in the middle is just at a glance under 7, so about 6.5, 7 stories. It's hard to gauge as eventually there stops being windows. Um, so it's hard to gauge whether or not there's just taller or shorter floors. And the other one is more wide than it is tall, and taking up the majority of the width of their area there. Um, all of which takes up about uh, like 6 city blocks worth of space on average. They're sizable. They are impressive, but they're in your travels. You've probably seen better. This area itself is actually fairly light in traffic. Those that are traveling appear to be doing so in the laziest of fashions. Um, being carted around by runners. The word eludes me. Little cart runners. Um,
Tuk tuks.
yeah. Um, as you make your way winding through the district, trying to keep the directions you were given in your head, you do manage to get lost very briefly, but a very polite young woman, wearing what appears to be apprentice style robings, uh, gives you the oh god creepy old guy look, and then oh you're looking it's just that way. Another 15 minutes, and you find yourself at the thaumaturgist. Uh, words I literally just gave y'all the name. Tell me someone wrote it down. Brain, brain. Uh, the
The
thaumaturgist.
guy's name?
The thaumaturgist Ras. The inn.
Oh, yeah.
Um, the inn itself is a stone and wood building, squat, taking up about half of the block that it resides on. The rest is left open, um, in cafe style to various tables scattered about. You actually see a few people sitting about enjoying games of dragon chess and very calm, very quiet conversation as you take in the scenery. There is a loud rumble from within the building, and one of the windows to the further back side lets out a gout of blackened smoke. And all you hear is, "It's okay, everything's okay, it's fine, it's fine, it's."
Reminds me of my college days.
So I'll go in and start asking around for the guy I'm looking for. I've got his name on the paper here.
Okay. The doesn't take long. Narrowing it down by more his school seems to happen quicker, as there's most of when you approach. I'm assuming you're polite and use the title.
What title? There's a title? Oh,
Transmutationist.
Oh.
Um, if not, you're just like, yeah, I'm looking for this guy again. To Foxy, if you can't tell, I'm really good with names. I'll spout it out and then move it off my list of random name generation, and then go,
Yeah.
crap, I shouldn't have done that yet. But it's okay. It's on
Yeah.
stream. We'll go back and get it later. Um, we never do.
No.
Yeah, I think that's the uh fifth room, second floor on the right. He's been looking. If this is just an employee you're talking to, just plain Jane, very nondescript. Unfortunately, very generic. Gentleman introduces himself as Leroy. No, not Jenkins.
Chicken.
But yeah, the guy's been looking for the last couple of weeks. Sorry if anyone came asking, send him up.
Fantastic. And how far up am I going?
The second floor, fifth door, on the right.
Okay. I will head up.
Okay. Making your way up.
Downtown, walking fast.
Making your way up downtown.
Shh.
I give you half a point for trying.
I know you're having like emotional distress, but damn, dude.
I'm just gonna go slit my wrist now.
Use
we,
the right
we
sword?
we do not condone that.
Except we disapproved of.
But making your way up, the steps themselves are fairly wide, as a gentleman in relative finery comes rushing down the other way and nearly knocks you over. I need a dexterity save as the man rushes by and sorry, not really, but sorry, and keeps on running. You go falling down the stairs.
Oh no! Joe's gonna like get a fracture his skull.
It's 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you don't make it all the way down the stairs. Just brum brum brum, and you find yourself actually sitting on your tailbone, now a slightly bruised tailbone, facing down the stairs at the back of the head of this guy, just in a rush. Still yelling, sorry, not really, but sorry.
I will let that go for now. And make my way up. I do make a mental note of that guy in case I see him again.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an intelligence check to memorize his look.
Intelligence to memorize his look. Gotcha.
Okay, noted. But passing the rooms, you can see several have do not disturbs. One has a very sulfurous smell coming from it that you kind of line up in your head as the one that just had the pretty large explosion. Before you reach Alfros's, I feel like that's the name I gave. I know it was Al something, but the transmutationist's room.
Yeah.
And there is a note saying,
I just so jealous.
that inform you that the door is open, and if you are intent to come and assist, to step inside and please wait patiently.
Yeah.
Stepping in, you feel a very faint uh, twinge of the arcane, and there's a very subtle bird call that emanates within the room.
Well, while I'm waiting patiently, I'm going to start looking for the bird.
Um, it stops shortly after, and go ahead and roll me Arcana. If DC is 5, let me know if you beat it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
There we go. Yes.
Okay. You're fairly sure that that was an alarm spell.
A bird?
Right? Just the sound of the bird.
Yeah, bird alarm? Yeah, these wizards.
From around a fold-out screen against the wall, you hear, "Uh, a moment, please. Yeah, thank you. Be right with you."
I'm just gonna wait over here patiently, mess with these bottles.
There's sudden hurried motion from behind the screen as a now disheveled in very fine robes gentleman in the middle, like trying to put on his obligatory pointy wizard hat. Please, you know what? No, by all means. The third one on the right is incredibly fun. By all means. And he crosses his arms, just watching, like, you won't do it.
This one?
That one.
What's it do?
I don't know.
Well, how do I know what to do with it then? Do you throw it?
No, you drink it.
it.
Drink it, yes.
Drink it. I mean, God knows I drink everything else. Why not? What's the worst that can happen?
He ponders a moment. I don't know! Not sure if I got it to work yet or not.
What's it supposed to do?
As a specialist in the arts of transmutation, it is to apply upon oneself the qualities befitting the strengths and prowess of wild creatures.
I mean, this is in character silence.
Okay. He at this point like is walked over to not the same desk but one adjacent to, and is kind of flipping through his book, and hemming and hawing, looking at you every now and then, like, well, are you gonna drink it? Don't.
I'm going to pull out the paper and say, I'm here for the work.
Ah,
I see you need assistance in performing your magics.
that is quite correct, sir. Thank you. Please have a seat, and a chair actively walks over to you for you to sit.
Okay, I will sit.
He takes a chair as well. So, it is very appreciated that you would take interest in the scholarly pursuits of befitting one of my pedigree. Greatly appreciated. I am in need of assistance, as unfortunately most of my magic is, well, as previously stated, transformative, and it is hard to record the results whilst transformed. So, in compensation for imbibing or otherwise accepting the application of formulae upon yourself, you will be paid in total sum for a day's work 700 gold pieces. That is, assuming that you will tolerate all 7 of the applications I have in store. Otherwise, it is a simple 100 gold pieces per application.
So you're gonna pay me to drink stuff.
As well as to accept uh, the testing of befitting formula as within my school. Yes.
Hmm. I forget. How many applications did he say, Mutt?
7.
7 applications. 100 gold each. Sure.
Well, one of them, fortunately, precariously dangles betwixt your fingers at the moment, if you'd be so kind, and we can get started. He pulls out from his drawer 7 small bags that each clink with the sound of coin as he sets them down.
Okay. I will. Might as well get started. Let's drink this one.
Okay. I need you to roll me a d3. Result, please.
2.
Okay. I need a D100. Because we just know how you just love random.
Oh, almost. 7-2.
72. You feel as your form, starting from the bottom of your feet and working their way up, twists, turns, and you feel even your mind beginning to waver as he very quickly begins to scamper back. Sorry, it's a very large table to cycle through here. Um, and you're now having trouble breathing. I need you to roll 1d20 plus 5. This is a Constitution saving throw. As you are attempting to avoid suffocation as you flop about on the ground in the shape of a giant shark.
Oh, Jesus.
12.
Okay. This goes on for some time before, unfortunately, he's at this point. He's like grabbing water, pouring over the gills. Like he can't quite understand what he's saying. Lacking any actual language at the moment. Before you find yourself back in Joe form, flopping about, gasping for air. The previously filling it from the side of your neck, air rushes down through your throat, and there's a loud gasp as you can once again breathe. Right. I think it works.
Yeah, that tasted terrible. Should probably put some flavor in it. What's next?
Flavor?
Yeah, be easier going down. Kind of
Ju-
had to cough there for a minute.
He just. Yeah! Were you aware of what just happened?
I think I blacked out for a minute.
About that. Yeah, sounds about right. Just see him vigorously writing notes.
But I didn't dream, so I didn't go all the way out.
That is good to know. Well, sir, if you kindly take a seat again, and he steps around behind the screen once more and comes out with, in odd fashion, a potted plant.
Okay.
Okay. So, now if you'd be so kind, are you an arcane dabbler at all?
I dabble.
Lovely. He pulls out a scroll. Can you read this? At a glance, it is gibberish at best, but you're welcome to attempt an arcana, assuming that you're trained. Otherwise, it's a raw int check.
Yeah, that's the way Arcana works.
Okay. No! It is unfortunately far above your training.
Oh.
Air quotes. Training. He sighs. Well, okay. Won't be able to test whether or not the layman can use this. That's unfortunate. Hmm. Ah, I know. Uh, as professionally, I must ask, would you mind if I lay a hand upon your shoulder for a moment?
Sure.
Wonderful. Keep your eyes, if you'd be so kind, on the scroll. Thank you. Um, there's a course of magic through you, and nothing happens because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you are officially not trained in Arcana.
Correct.
I thought you said you were a practitioner.
Well, I am. Never really studied much. It just came naturally to me.
He flips shit. I just spent a fifth level spell on you.
Oh. Sure you did it right? I didn't feel anything. That's. I mean, if you want to sit down for like an hour, I can wait for you to get it back.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, sit down, have some coffee. Wait an hour. That's how I get my spells back.
Uh, he faints. It's not a long time before he stirs. Did you do anything while he was out?
How long was he out?
About 4 minutes.
No, I probably would have. I mean, I probably would have gotten bored and looked at some stuff, but not really.
Struggles up into his seat. I'm sorry. What is your name?
Joseph.
Joseph, you are a practitioner. If you don't mind, could you please demonstrate?
Um, let's see.
Because I have this nagging, ringing sound, some sort of echoing verbiage, as an utterance from you about an hour to regain your spells.
Oh yeah. Unless I just make. Oh. Anyway. Um.
You can see the look of a man who just realized he went to years of schooling.
Let's see.
Years of it.
Well, you know what? I did fall down the stairs just a minute ago. As you can see, I've got a few cuts and scrapes on me. We'll just go ahead and just kind of rub those away.
You glow with divine energy, or are you burning it through?
This the source of this is my sorcerer levels.
So I believe that's divine.
I
Divine
believe. That would be divine soul. Yes.
So as you glow, there's like this sudden wash of relief. Oh, you're a blessed one. Oh, that makes so much more sense. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were an arcane practitioner.
Oh, it is arcane. It's arcane. I don't get it. Well, it's it comes from within me. I could do something a little bit less less shiny if you want, but
He's now just scratching his head like, what the fuck is going on?
yeah. Because I mean, I could kind of do this as well. Get this old person on him. Now this is definitely not coming from the divine side. This is coming more from my benefactor.
What's your safety C?
It is 15.
Okay. You produce the spell and send the ethereal arcane wrappings about him, and he looks down with a very dismissive glare as your spell is smacked aside. Right. I will pay you for the time and at least one official test, but I'm afraid I don't think you are of much service here, my good sir. I guess I should clarify on my flyer my requirements a little more thoroughly. He picks up 3 bags and hands them to you.
Okay.
I did cast 2 spells upon you, and then a third for your time. If you would be so kind, my head is now splitting. On your way out, please take the sign off the door. Thank you. And he sinks down, kind of like you would imagine anyone who has spent a long time on a degree that they realize there is currently no market for.
Oh yeah.
Just staring off. Just staring off.
Okay. So yeah, I take the sign off the door for him. And I guess I'll be heading back to the something's rest.
The harbor master rest was back in Hyam.
I forget what it was called. Going back
I
to the
don't
guild.
know where. I don't know where you were staying, Joe.
You were saying like any like in stables that would let you because you didn't want to actually use a room.
I wasn't gonna pay for a room. I know.
But you managed to find your way back out of the quarter, um, drawing very little attention to yourself, having expended just a smidgen of your glow.
Right. When I get back, is there anybody from the party there?
Back at the guild hall.
Sure. If that's where we meet at.
That has been typically your meeting place.
Right.
Well, let's sort Union's purchase out real quick.
No problem. I put the sign on the table and I wait.
So, Union, you find the various vendors of beasts of burden and travel. There in the eastern district, where I believe you and Bella had gone before to acquire her amount, if I'm remembering correctly. Um, it does not take much to find a, a passable steed, riding horses and the like. Anything more well trained, you're very much you're told you're gonna have to go to a private stock or an auction or something similar, as they are currently not selling anything akin to war horses or as potent.
Am I able to find out where one of these private stocks or anything might be? If there are there any in the city or
Investigation charisma, as you are talking to one of the stable hands at the moment, gleaning this information to you. Okay. It takes a horrifically expensive 2 copper bribe to get the information out of the young boy. That's what makes it a day. Um, to let you know that is a equestral auction held in front of the Traveler's Temple, which is technically a multitude of temples kind of shoved into one. Um, where I think there's like 4 beasts being vended at the moment. Um,
Night Square?
That's great.
but this would be a place that you would have at least visited very briefly. It has the Temple of the Triad and the Morning Lord's Devout, as well as Our Lady of Silver, as the 3 primary temples is in that small little district. Um, the sales are with the intent of helping adventurers get on their feet with slightly sturdier companions, um, as well as most of the money going towards the temples themselves.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely look into one of those as an option for procuring ideal a horse.
Okay. It he's more than happy to direct you in that way. And you get there just as you can see a few people milling about, having a discussion. No one recognizable. So there's a moment of panic as you're already a little on edge, keeping your eyes darting about. You swore for a second there you saw a black tiefling. Which probably would be panic to you, but
Look,
Um,
Ideal's boyfriend will have to wait. Or Union's boyfriend, not Ideal.
No, Ideal wants to murder him.
Well, don't murder Union's boyfriend. Jesus. Um, Jesus. Union's boyfriend isn't Jesus.
okay.
Grammar is important.
Yes, it is.
But, yes.
There you can see the
Yes, speak
stock
commas.
displayed. Um, there are only 3 beasts left. Apparently, you got here just as one was finished being sold. But there
So
is,
what
at a
do you have?
glance,
Good.
I'm trying, my dude.
I apologize.
There is a very large, almost Clydesdale-esque steed that is currently like the main hawk and is currently up for bids, reaching right now 435 gold. Um, this is a very well tempered steed that is battle tested. Um, as well as once ridden and broken, known as a breed to be stubbornly loyal. Um, Beside it and currently not being bidded on but is up for inspection is a chestnut. Definitely a little more on the riding horse uh, quality, and definitely young. Um, as it is testing its binds very often. Probably not all that well broken just yet. Um, Before you reach what is referred to as the exotic creature of sale for the day, there is sitting, or more laying, I should say, with long limbed, uh, long limbs crossed, and looking out with an eerie intelligence to it. This no, not a camel.
Swear to God, if I was given a camel.
Ideal, I have brought you a mount. Be careful, he spits.
Isn't Bella the one who actually owns a camel?
Is Bella on a camel?
No, it's not Bella. It's Coral's character in this setting. He bought a camel. Um, can bet the best one is Percheron, Fresherian, or Andalusian.
Frisian.
Sorry, my horse knowledge is actually fairly limited. There's a nugget in there somewhere that never wants to come up when actually bidden. But
Well, I'm just gonna throw names in the chat of
oh,
horse
that's
breed.
all right.
I can do pictures on the Discord if needed.
Um, but a large feline, the head of which is already a fierce-looking visage, and it locks eyes with you for the faintest of moments. It gives the standard little stretch and curl of the back, and as it does, these long talons scratch along the ground. It just opens up to a long yawn. Totally not intentional. Before it curls back up and waits its turn. It's not bound in any way, shape, or form. There is an individual that is sitting in almost meditative pose next to it that it seems to be regarding with some notice very often. You just keep, it's okay. How you doing? Looks to be a dark elf.
Definitely interested in the giant cat.
The starting bid for the giant cat is currently 600 gold pieces.
Oh. So now
The warhorse, now that you're out of the corner of your ear, has now jumped up to 445.
So this runs into the conflict of what I need to consider union versus me as a human being who is pathologically adverse to spending money. And the idea of my character spending fake money is very much like, ooh, can you afford to do that? I don't know.
You're such a rich person.
Oh my god.
You won't even give me $50.
Oh my god. Wait.
Now is not the time. Thank you.
Indeed.
Sorry.
Indeed.
He's never given me $50 either. All right.
All right.
I've known
wait.
him longer, and he was.
So looking at this cat creature, what do I actually like know about this? I mean, am I buying Ideal a panther, or am I able to recognize this? Like, oh, this is a Inslenian riding cat. They are famous and they make for astounding cavalry.
Well, I mean, you don't exactly see them padding around often. Go ahead and roll me a nature check.
All right. Yeah, Ian, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I thought so.
Fuck.
It's a really big cat, and now that you're trying to pay attention to it, you don't seem to be able to pay too much attention to it.
Sorry, my mic accidentally unplugged. What?
Now that you're physically trying to pay attention to it, you're having a hard time keeping your eyes on it.
Is it like one of those blink cats?
You have no. All you know is that is a big, gorgeous fur baby. The warhorse is now sitting at 453, going once,
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
going twice.
455 for the horse.
You see, like the gavel's mid coming down. It's up 455 from the pale gentleman to the back. With a guy who's just about to win scowls at you. 470.
Hey, Ideal, would you like to ride a moose?
He's not there.
Wait, what?
You're not there.
He's not there.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's not there. I know. I want that cat. I don't want to give you the cat. But I promised I'd buy you a horse. But I already have an elk.
The dilemma's just getting worse. 475 going once,
Yeah, you don't need a 450 gold horse.
going twice. It's a beautiful horse. Sold. Gavel clicks.
To be fair, I think if I understand the spell correctly, the elk is like a magical creature. It's not like an actual elk that I raised from birth.
Could still be disappointed in you.
I would say, yeah,
Yeah.
this disappointment doesn't change. It's now just magical disappointment, sir.
Well, if Ideal swears the elk oath, he can ride it too.
The next horse up, the chestnut, starting bid is 60 gold.
75.
90.
93.
As you start glancing around, and you notice there's a lot of individuals, mostly of the religious adventuring theme, and kind of using this to double as a means of dumping wealth that most of them eschew. Um. Hmm. 110.
115.
You hear a woman pipe up. Oh, it is really lovely. Please.
It probably has diseases. Cough.
How holy man!
Look,
You
it's
hear
been a day.
a very loud 175.
Fuck.
You're such a rich boy.
Alright, ideally you'll have to
I would say
settle with
if you knew
draft horse.
the cost of riding horse, any one in his group would be smacking him right now for going over that.
Yes, yes, I do because I paid that already.
But
Union will let that
you'll let it
bid
go. It goes
Yeah.
back and forth, and you kind of hear most of them talking like, "Yeah, God, that'd be great breed stock." Before it finally caps out at a whopping 197. There's a happy little, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Yay, yay me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what many of you have been waiting for are piece de resistance of the trades for the day. Coming from realms quite far from our own, do not try to stare too hard, lest your mind play tricks upon you. This wonderful companion is more than just eager mount, but is boon companion when traveling in dangerous territories. Typically trained for the more light of foot, this particular one has been well bred to sustain more sturdy frames, such as those I see here. You see, he kind of looks at a guy who's he's a little on the hefty side. Most frames that I see here. Let it be clear that you're investing in a partnership more than just buying a mount in this case. So, buyer beware. There are no returns. We are not liable for any damages to your person or that of your party. But those who are willing to invest well with the creature will find it steadfast and loyal. The opening bid is 600 gold pieces.
625.
It skyrockets to 700 quickly.
725.
It's now you and two others.
I killed them.
One of them kind of looks at you, looks at the beast, and when you see he locks eyes with the beast, and you can tell this man physically shudders and excuses himself from the crowd, shaking his head. $730. You look over, it's a very well dressed half elf, and he looks at you with a fit of determination on his face.
What? How? By well dressed, is he like a noble in nice robes?
You
or
don't
is
see
he
a
an
signet ring or
adventurer?
anything of that nature. Most of what you see here, you expect to be adventurers. You did catch. There's a couple of well-to-do merchants. A merchant's daughter just bought the chestnut. Um, just because his daughter just absolutely had to have it. Poor thing. Um, go ahead and give me a insight as you
Okay.
quickly look at this man over, and do understand that this is taking up precious seconds as he has an active bid. 7:30 going once. The auctioneer looks at you. 7:30 going twice.
750.
He looks to the half elf and scans the crowd very quickly, seeing if anyone's gonna pull a U during the warhorse and come jumping in at the last second. You see the half elf just shake his head, sneer. Almost as if the voice came from right next to your shoulder, you hear, "Good choice." Add a little more purr to it that my throat decided not to do. Sold. 750.
All right. Mark that gold off on my sheet.
The creature stands and begins to walk towards you, and that's when you see these long tendrils floating freely, running out from its forward shoulder blades.
I know what it is killing me.
The musculature on this creature is very intimidating as it comes to stand, and it is almost face to face with you, if not for its lowered posture.
I am Union.
The dark elf walks up next to him. This one hasn't had a name yet, and I'd be careful trying to enforce one too quickly.
I see. What do you eat? I address the cat.
It it bares its very sharp fangs.
Ah, I can guess.
Just
No,
has to summon elk
Celeste.
left, right, and center to feed this thing. Um, but at a glance, this is a large creature of origins you do not immediately understand. Um, and it's now that you realize there are more than just the four legs that you expected. Extra, very potent and muscled pairs of legs support the middle of the creature, adding more to its very disorienting presence.
So how many legs does this thing have?
It has three sets that you can see at a glance.
Jesus. Hello, everyone. I brought an eldritch horror for the party. Yes, I'm Union.
And I know Jared's over here. He's like, I know what it is.
I figured it out.
But it paces about you, and there's definitely a predatory look behind its eyes. Ah, well, it hasn't eaten you yet. That's good. You're not the one intending to ride it, though, are you? I would get it acclimated quickly.
You shall see. With friend, after the day I have had, I am finding that I could use beasts or a companion like this for what is to come.
Well, I have found, particularly with its father, that it does well when pointed at something to kill. About all the advice I have for the keeping of the creature. If you'll excuse me, your money,
Oh,
please.
I hold, friend. If
Uh,
Union is already
transaction has already been agreed upon.
no, Fred, I will take it. But if is there if I wish to ride it, will it obey me in battle? Do I need a saddle? I've never
I've
ridden such a creature before.
shakes his head as I've never used one. Then you realize the drow speaking is like your standard, smaller than the average, kind of jockey style frame. Like, I've never needed one, and I wouldn't command it if I were you. Not for some time at least. Not with and it gives you the up and down your personality.
I see. Union turns and looks back to the cat. Well then,
You turn and laying down, its head is still like as it props its like holds its head up. It's like right there at your core. This is a large beast, and it's like every time you turn, just seems larger, smaller. It's here, it's there. It's can't quite place it.
you are an interesting one, aren't you? Ah, is it male or female?
This one is male.
This one is male. Good to know.
I also avoid trying to get into the breeding process without a better understanding.
I, no, I just wanted to make sure I was paying it the proper respect.
Yes.
Well,
Your
there you
payment,
go.
please.
Of course, yes. Union counts out the coins and hands it to him.
Right. Take care.
I shall.
And do you see the beast that he lock eyes for a second? And there's a strange tinge to the air as the beast now rears its head back and looks at you. With a curious look. And it's only just now that you can see on the front left paw about its ankle is some kind of gemmed metal band that flared for the briefest of moments.
Huh. Is
It
the
gives.
man
He's
wearing
gone.
one?
No, nope. As soon as that happens, he turns and walks away.
Union turns and looks back.
As soon as you look back at it, it gives you just one long sniff. Licks its chops.
Well, boy, will you follow me? I can promise fresh meat, some excitement if things go as I expect.
No
I
immediate
will not.
reaction. You can't tell if it's gonna follow you or not. Give me an animal handling.
Oh, jeez. Fine.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? I'm probably food. As you start to walk, there's a mutterance amongst the crowd, which is uh, very not very reassuring, as you could hear almost as if it's intentionally making it loud enough the thump, 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 thump of it pacing just a few feet behind you. And it was quite at the attention that your um, ivory skin and horns drew, making way to get here. As you proceed back through the city with this ebon beast right behind you, and you're about 5 minutes from getting to the guild hall when you're actually yelled to halt by the guards. There's an immediate heavy growling.
Easy. Easy, buddy. Nothing. These are not our foes.
You see three guards have kind of worked their way up behind you, and one in the front with a hand shaking on his sword. Uh, sir! Sir! That beast of yours!
Lathandar, bless you, my son. What seems to be the concern?
The concern is the giant monster behind you!
He is mine.
Another heavy growl.
There is no reason for concern.
Yes, cause it a rise in the populace.
You
Either-
allowed it to be sold.
I allowed the damn thing! Fucking adventurers! Look, your beasts need to be on a bind or stabled up. Can't be free roaming like that in the city. Too much of a threat.
Of course. I will find suitable accommodations for
The beast is now about a foot behind you.
for him as soon as I can.
The growl at this point is so potent you can actually feel it in your chest as
But
the
please
hand,
stop.
the head looms just beside your shoulder.
Okay, Bud. It's
There's-
fine.
There's a
It's fine.
so
Easy,
many
bud.
people do horses.
Easy.
Oh, guys, we are in trouble with Helmet and her. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
Me? What did I do? I'm innocent. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I need a persuasion check for the guard and an animal handling for your buddy.
Okay. Jeez, this thing immediately goes loose. I just spent so much gold on. Okay.
Wouldn't it be the worst thing that immediately went wrong after spending a large sum of money?
Okay, so this is persuasion. 16, okay.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay. The guard. You're not sure if it's your persuasion or your companion's intimidation that succeeded. As he steps out of your way. The sooner the better!
Of course. Let
Just-
God bless you.
This guy was not ready to fight that.
To be fair, most people aren't.
Google is my friend, and I agree.
Cheater!
It's not in character,
Hey, meta knowledge is meta knowledge.
but I won't use it. I'm not in this scene.
Or are you?
Very true.
Say, you haven't been stalking the elk boy?
Did lose a bit of silver in a bit. Gold.
I would say, like everyone else is dropping gold on this badge. You're like, nah, silver. Not worth it. Technically, no one lost. Came out to a draw. For now.
Debatable.
Ouch. We are going to perform our Fade to Black as Union. You arrive at the guild hall. Probably thinking it better than taking it to the Theodore's lodging. Well, he does provide stables. Yeah. And you immediately draw the attention of many adventurers and have to persuade many of them not to kill your newfound companion. Before an employee approaches and informs you that yes, they can put it up. It will cost 10 gold for the week.
That's it.
That is acceptable.
Right.
I would also try and flag down
This
Like
would
a
be
messenger
this would
boy
be
or
soon you see Joe, but he went to bed. But if you flag for a messenger, a young lad, probably 6 7 years old, very pretty fast on his feet. Uh, yes, sir. How can I help you?
Why are the stables still open this time of day?
Uh, which stables, sir? The the merchant stables, the housing, and he looks over his shoulder to this beast that is only just now being
Don't worry about it.
cautiously led away, and it seems to be like you see that they are cheating, and it's giant block of meat. Like this way, come on, this way.
Look at me, not the monster. Look at me. If I were to give you this sack, Union holds up a sack of gold. Would you be able to go and purchase for me a riding horse and bring it back here? I will pay you handsomely.
Of certainly, sir. He like kind of looks at the sky, looks around. Billy, over here, and a slightly older voice. Sir, I'll handle that. Billy's a little well. He gets lost.
Of course. I do not hold it against him.
This young man is about mid-teens.
There'll be 5 gold in it for each of you if you bring me a sturdy, dependable mount. Not something wild, not something that's going to buck or kick or bite. I just want something sturdy that can be ridden and is nice and passive.
Okay, well. Yeah, I've bought a horse or two before. I'll have back and stable up for you in the morning.
Perfect. Thank you. I hand him the coin.
And quick as a whip, he's out the door and running back towards the market.
What does sort of a riding horse and tack and saddle and all that cost?
The riding horse itself is going to run you about 75 gold.
Okay.
If you're looking for barding, i.e., armor for it, it's a little pricey. But a bit in bridle, and depending on what kind of saddle you want, and whether you want saddle bags as well, all matter.
How much?
I already have a saddlebags and saddle. I probably took that off of my own old horse. Should probably delete that.
You've just been carrying the
No,
saddle and saddlebags around?
You didn't take it off your old horse.
Fair.
Your old horse turned to ash.
Right, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Your old horse got fucked.
You mean we all got fooled?
But I mean, it did put up a great fight.
Yeah.
But let's see, 10. I'm doing math real quick. 10, 14, 16. Yeah, so about 93 gold will get you the lot. That's before the money you promised the kids.
Yeah. All right. So 103 then. 5 each.
But we fade to black as the kids go darting out into the night to go and procure the actual mount promised.
Well, after I spent 750 gold on my demon monster, I'm not gonna let Ideal ride it around.
Hey, I did actually look up the picture for it because I knew what it was as well. Can I send it?
Is this so let me make a guess. Is this a displacer beast?
Out of character, maybe.
Yeah. So Union won't know that, but I've looked up. I searched 5e large cat, and